Hey everyone, today is the 19th of April and it is a Tuesday. We're going to talk about what's happening in the crypto markets today. Bitcoin has made a bit of a recovery and popped up over 41, which is nice. And Ethereum is currently trading over 3,000, which is also good stuff. There's actually good news out of Australia. So we've been waiting for a Bitcoin ETF for a while, which will allow money to flow into the crypto markets from larger institutions. And the first ETF has been approved in Australia. So go figure. Now, there have been a bunch of ETF applications here, and there are some that look pretty promising, but it looks like our SEC is not cooperating and giving kind of, we'll call it odd rejections, considering they've already approved a futures ETF. They keep saying it's too volatile. So it's too volatile in the future, but, or not too volatile in the future, but volatile now. Makes no sense. I think they're trying to negotiate some more favorable terms in terms of more control, over the industry in general before they can approve anything, and they're kind of using some strong arm tactics, aka mafioso, in order to get those. But that's just my opinion. On other news, I actually agree with Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey came out today and said that Ethereum, anybody who builds on Ethereum is basically making a mistake, that there's a lot of single points of failure. I agree, Jack. So, I'm sort of coming around on Dorsey. I thought he was a bit of a, not somebody that I'd be a fan of as a result of his company's actions. But it turns out he was advocating for a lot of free speech, and the board of Twitter and other people were not. Obviously, with the Elon situation, they're not on board with that. So they forced him out. And he was pushing for two versions of Twitter, perfectly open one, and then their dystopian one, where they block all free speech. Since then, he's now moved into Web3 and really pushing for decentralized everything, including decentralized social media, although he probably has a non compete for a little bit. I'm pretty sure he can still have time to put that together. So he came out and said what I found. When we were looking through all the different blockchain alternatives, Ethereum was quickly ruled out as being the one of the worst options for us to build on. I mean, Binance was better than Ethereum for building, but not by much. Cardano was better than Binance and Ethereum. Noting that they tend to move slowly over there, but they are making some good strides. They do things methodically and improve performance, in a nice structured way. But Ethereum was the worst because their fees are awful. Their technology was pretty bad. The fact that they're going from proof of work to proof of stake means that the overall security of the network isn't as good, and we're starting to see a lot more hacks out of Ethereum. So as people are doing, cross bridge, cross platform, cross blockchain transactions, the hackers are starting to figure that out, and most of those issues are with Ethereum. So when they go to proof of stake, everyone who's out there applauding, they don't know what they're talking about. They're going to lose a tremendous amount of nodes. Now, Ethereum's also going to become profitable, which is pretty cool. It'll be the first blockchain to be profitable because they aren't going to be paying out miners anymore. They're going to lose about 90% of the payouts that they're paying out to the miners to actually maintain the network, but that also means they're losing their security. The fees are so high that it precludes any company that has half of a brain from putting together a business plan on Ethereum. And basically, I kind of looked at it as building, if we're going to build a company, why would I build a company headquartered in New York City with a cost, getting a place in Manhattan? It's just expensive. There's no real need for it. The panache isn't worth it. Yeah, there's the subway and they have some infrastructure stuff, but there's also a lot of shootings and it's dangerous. It's overpriced and the government's garbage. So we decided we were going to move our headquarters to Florida, Texas, and take advantage of lower taxes and higher speeds. And that's why we went with Solana over Ethereum. And I think anybody that wants to jump in easy, there's a lot of pre-written code for Ethereum, so you can basically jump in and create a product much quicker, token much quicker, which is why there's a lot of garbage out there. But if you actually care about your company, technology, you give a shit and you want to build something awesome, you don't build it on Ethereum. You build it on either Avalanche, Solana, Cardano. One of the good ones that are out there, or Terra Luna. I can't leave them off because they were really our number two, and we may still figure out a way to work with them. So a lot of people out there. I always see this thing in the world of regular finance people saying people are calling for Bitcoin and crypto to crash in 2 years, and their logic is that there's going to be a stock market crash in under 2 years, which is true. I mean, it is going to happen. It should have already happened. But we've been artificially pumping this stuff up for a while. But when you see the increase in Fed funding rate, by 50 bips later on, you're going to see the market crash. It always does. The decoupling between market and crypto is happening. It's been happening for a while. It's gone from a 4, which is a very highly correlation, to a 2, which is still correlated, but not as highly. So the decoupling is happening. And as the market crash, you're going to see a further decoupling because crypto is going to be a bit of a hedge, especially for a lot of these larger companies that do have cash and are now looking at cash for the first time ever as a liability on their balance sheet. That changes everything because previously cash was an asset, not a liability. Now you're looking at cash as devaluing. So what most people have, what if you look at the history of cash, you're losing about 14% of the value of your cash every single year. So every single month, your cash is losing over 1% of its value. That's a lot. It's a lot of money. So knowing that, people are trying to figure out how do we get our money away from something that's obviously being devalued. And I love these TV experts out there that have been for years saying that printing more money is not going to have any effect on inflation. I mean, could you be more full of shit? All these, if anytime you hear the word expert on TV, you're being lied to, but especially when it comes to economics. I mean, they are flat lying to you. They're Keynesian. They don't know what they're talking about. The essence of inflation is printing money, supply and demand. If you have more money, it's not worth as much. Otherwise, you could just print everybody $1 trillion and everybody would be rich, right? What difference does it make? Does make you wonder why we pay so much in taxes on tax day, though, doesn't it? If you're able to just print money and just pay things off and it's no big deal, then why do we have to pay taxes, especially if it doesn't have any impact on inflation? So, yeah, they're just flat out lying to us. And I think they think people are stupid, but that's neither here nor there. Happy tax day, everybody. In other crypto news, we're seeing some more news on the XRP site or XRP case. The government is still fighting to hold back emails, which will be basically damning to them to show that this whole thing was a ruse, and that the people that initiated this court case had a financial position to do so. Well, it should surprise nobody. And most of the people in our government are wealthy, even though they make couple $100,000 a year, they might be worth 192, $200 million magically. So this is just another example of government corruption, and they're trying hard to hide it. Cardano has moved their fork. Robinhood is boosting the crypto reach. The move of OpenSea and Solana has not moved the bar on NFTs. I think NFTs are pretty well crashing. People are tired of buying moose and monkeys and bored apes and crap like that. There's no utility there yet, and staking a monkey. I mean, the whole thing is just nonsense. The actual technology itself is incredible. And we're going to be moving heavily towards utility-based NFTs, meaning NFTs that actually do something. Can still be a pretty monkey, doesn't matter, but they'll actually do something functional. Rich Dad Poor Dad says hyperinflation and depression are here. I don't know if depression's here yet. I think it's coming. Hyperinflation certainly. But we've got some good news. It's nice to see Bitcoin making a positive move up. It's gone up even since I started. It was 43,280 something. Now it's 41,280. Now it's 41,436. So we're seeing some positive signs there. I've actually seen a lot of models that show the next 2 to 4 months is going to be pretty damn good for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's probably going to lead. The altcoins will, of course, follow at a delay. You're going to see a couple coins that might have good times. I mean, I just bashed Ethereum pretty well, but it will probably have a pretty good move up when it finally moves into proof of stake, because again, it'll be the first profitable blockchain in history. That's a pretty big thing to tout. But overall, I'm pretty bearish on Ethereum. I know that they're going to move to a somewhat deflationary model, which is the right thing to do, and we're going heavily deflationary with HapPhi. But I just don't see their utility long term. I think the technology is just not there. They'll stay for a little while, but eventually anybody with a brain is going to move off of that platform or figure out a way to avoid paying the gas fees by switching layers, going to layer two, or, even using Lightning or something else to switch off of Ethereum and then pop back on for some of the utility. But that opens up again security issues. So until they figure out all that, and at this point, it might be too late. You have an infrastructure that's tough to reverse course at this point. Plus, they're focused on the environment, which is completely the wrong thing to focus on. Ethereum is not going to take down the globe. They need to be focused on technology and let the people that are working to mine focus on how they're going to save costs. That's how change gets driven on a fundamental worldwide basis, not by switching to proof of stake. Thinking that they're going to do some good when really they're not doing anything good. They're actually making the network less secure, which is not good. That's bad. That's the opposite of good. So anyway, that's the initial take on what's happening today. It's pretty quiet day, other than the fact that things are moving in a positive way. Hopefully, I'll have some more positive news tomorrow. But all signs look pretty good right now. It can change in a moment, but right now, I'm feeling pretty optimistic. It seems like a pretty good time to put money in and watch it grow. And crossing my fingers, because anybody that tells you they knows what's going to happen is inherently full of shit. This is a wild ride. We all know it, but look at it as a long-term plan. This is not financial advice, and I think everyone's going to do real well. In the meantime, everybody stay happy. We'll see how tomorrow shakes out.